Brittany Williams, who are writers on Hunt Showdown. And they are our narrative designers who design, for example, the character stories for Hunt Showdown characters. And today, they will be able to answer your questions about how to actually incorporate a diverse strategy of inclusive gender representation in your game. Barbara, you want to start with your introduction?
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I am Barbara. I'm from Brazil. My pronouns are she, her, or they, them. And yeah, I had the pleasure of designing a few of the stories of our hunters along our wonderful narrative team.
Excellent. Thank you so very much. And Bree, you want to follow up on that?
Yes, hello, everyone. My name is Bree. I am also a narrative designer here at Crytek. My pronouns are she, her, or they, them, and I identify as non-binary. And I've also had the pleasure of writing some interesting characters for Hunt, as well as some other stories as well. Nice to meet everyone.
Perfect. Awesome. We are so happy to have you here today. And to add to the full introduction, many people who actually follow CryEngine and know me already, they know, hey, I'm Gabriel. I'm the senior manager for CryEngine ecosystems and communication, doing all things community marketing and support on the engine together with my great team. My pronouns are he, him, and let me let me throw the ball back to you, Omar, so you can do the introductions because we have a lot of new people here today.
So the interesting thing about this, because this is like the first time I'm actually, you know, introducing myself with my pronouns, and this is a new experience for me. And this is kind of the reason why I'm here, because I want to learn. I want to learn from the experience that the team has made. And that's why, my first time introducing myself. I'm Roman. I'm the technical evangelist, and my pronouns are he, him. Yeah, I have to translate it 2 times in German, in English, and then back in German to check if that's correct.
All good. It's all good. There's a first for everyone. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, then I would say what we want to do today is so Bree and Oma are going to play Hunt Showdown and going to play two of the characters that actually have a diverse gender identity in Hunt Showdown. And the two of them will be playing, and Barbara and I will probably start talking a little over the gameplay, talking about the characters that the both of them have been working on. And chat, if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask, and I'll try to rephrase your questions and ping them to Brie and Barbara specifically. Cool. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
There's a lot of love in the chat. I like that.
That's Hunt, exactly.
Let's hunt. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So we are seeing two characters on screen already. Barbara, do you want to talk about these two characters that we're seeing here?
Of course, I can start talking about the Viper, and maybe Brie could share a little bit more about Sophia. The Viper is our character, our special character from the Serpent Moon event. They were evolving hunters, so they actually have 4 different skins in total. And I had the pleasure of writing for them. So, of course, along the entire narrative team, but uh, they were officially, openly the first non-binary character we had on Hunt, and we had a lot of fun writing for them. They are an assassin that comes to the bayou by invite of Mr. Sherry, and they have throughout the Serpent Moon event a lot of cool stuff happened to them. So I don't want to get into many details, but they had one hell of a ride that eventually that you can see through the different skins and the evolution of the story. And Brie, maybe you want to introduce Sophia?
Yeah, of course. So I cannot take credit for Sophia. Sophia has been written by the wonderful Umut, who is a fellow narrative designer on our
Amazing
team.
Umut.
Yes, you might have heard him during the Serpent Moon doing narration, but enough about him.
It's never enough about Uma, but okay, go ahead.
So Sophia is actually a pretty interesting case because I don't think we've explicitly talked about her gender and how she identifies, but when Umu was coming up with the story and character details for her, he found that, like, while kind of discovering her as a person, as I guess we kind of do in our profession, uh, when we were talking about it, he said that she is not someone who doesn't care about gender. It is not her priority. She does not feel the need to be within the trappings of it. And it isn't something that is the forefront or important to her. So through that conversation, we kind of figured out that Sophia is someone who is agender, but she still is fine with she, her pronouns. And honestly, as long as it makes Lulu happy, then she's happy. So it all works out.
Yeah, there was already a question. Oh my God, Sophia confirmed gender diverse. How does she identify? Well, we answered that. And is Lulu gender diverse as well? That's a question from It's D&B.
I would solidly put Lulu into the ally category as opposed to someone who is gender diverse.
Awesome. And we all need allies. That is very important. And I heard Sophia likes to make Lulu happen. Do you want to? She wants to. She wants to make Lulu happy. Sorry, still stumbling over my language sometimes because German, English, etc. So Sophia wants to make Lulu happy. Can you actually explore that a little? Why is that so for somebody who might not know these characters?
I don't know how, like, I don't have a fancy way to say it. They're just like totally in love with each other, and that's it. They just Lulu wants to make Sophia happy, and vice versa, until they just do things that make each other happy, even if it's murder.
That's
They're
fine.
Awesome.
girlfriends.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't expect a love story in Hunt Showdown, to be fair. So this is awesome because these hunters, they are actually people, right? They are, of course, avatars in what is some kind of a power fantasy, but there's also a lot of drama involved in the setting. So yeah, thanks for tackling that so well. Do you maybe
No,
have any tips on how to write characters for a specific setting, especially a horror setting like Hunt Showdown?
Uh, you mean like how we integrate uh, a different, like for example, love story in the middle of horror or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. And in general, like maybe the basic approach, because many people who use CryEngine are game developers themselves. Many of
Mm-hmm.
them are also indie developers. They might just be looking up at us for an example. And I personally think it can be hard, right? I mean, horror is all about emotions, but I think in
Mm.
Hunt Showdown, we don't have the characters don't really have a voice, right? But still, you integrate their personality in their design, and you work with how they stand to each other. So how do you approach that?
Do you want me to start, Brie? Do you?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. I think there's a lot to unpack. There's like the part of writing horror. There's the part of like writing multiplayer games, and like there are a lot of like difficult parts of Hunt. I think focusing on horror. Bree is the horror specialist here, so she can complement. But for me, like you said, horror is about emotions, and I have a lot of fun writing for horror, thinking because I think it can be very the kind of like thematic writing. So you focus on one emotion, one fear, one taboo, something like that, and you can create a lot of fantasy around that. And it's all about raw emotions, you know. So it's something quite interesting to write. And I think in a video game that a lot of the time you don't have the space for words, you have the space for feelings, right? Because the story is being told through the player. Like the only person living that story is the player at that